Good afternoon. Sales Academy, friends, family members, lurkers, Facebook followers, podcast listeners, YouTube watchers, whoever you are, wherever you are, drop a comment. Let us know where you are in the world as you're listening to this. That'd be nice to know. Today, we're going to talk about your ideal working week. Now, this gets talked about in many ways, and I use different terminology for this as I work with clients more. But the starting point is always your ideal working week. So to-do lists, calendars, apps for this and apps for that, it's all great. But if we're not careful, we can allow this technology to kind of run our lives, and it feels a bit like the tail wagging the dog rather than the dog wagging the tail. So what I'd like you to do, and I challenge each and every one of you to do this as we're going through this call. So you can press stop, pause, rewind, listen back, whatever. Listen to it as many times as you want to get through this. And if you need help, get in touch and reach out, and I'll walk you through this. No invoice attached. Your ideal working week is a 7-day working week that has mornings, afternoons, and evenings, because you don't stop as a human being kind of until you go to sleep. So there's 24 hours in a day, 365 days in a year. It's the Gregorian calendar. It's been that way since about 1520. So time management is a nonsense. Managing ourselves better with the time that we've got is a focus that we could all do better with. So there are 8 hours on average that we sleep. There are 8 hours on average that we work, and there are 8 hours on average that we waste for a lot of us. So I want you to really get honest about what are you doing with those 24 hours. So if you write 24 down and then separate it by 3 8-hour blocks, and get honest with yourself in terms of that time. What are you doing with those 8 hours? Do you sleep 8 hours regularly? Do you sleep more? Do you sleep less? Do you work an 8-hour day, or do you find yourself working a 12, 14, 16-hour day? What are you doing in the times when you're not working? And then what I'd like you to do and go, if I could write my ideal week, if I could structure my week how I wanted it to, so I can be balanced with being present with my children at breakfast time, being present with my loved ones in evenings, being present when I'm in the gym, being present when I'm doing yoga, not distracted. What is it that you need to be doing, and how do you fit those things in? So your ideal working week is kind of like finances in a business. There are fixed costs and there are variable costs. Well, in your ideal working week, there should be fixed things that you won't negotiate on, that you will do because they are fixed. So if I give you an example, when the children are with me doing the morning school run and the afternoon school run, I can't change the time they start school. So it's fixed. So the time I get up, the time I leave the house with the kids, the time I do the packed lunches or whatever it might be, there's a routine. So they become fixed, but they're only fixed on part of my week because the kids are with me 50% of the time. They're with their mum the other 50% of the time. So I need to plan my ideal week around the fixed stuff and then the gaps, the variables. I also need to make sure that I do build gaps in. What I start to do with fixing this time in, I start looking at, okay, well, how long does it take me to do this? When would I be available for new clients? How long does it take me to do my finances, my bank reconciliation? If I wait to the end of the month, it takes me longer than if I wait to the end of the week. If I wait to the end of the week, it takes me longer if I wait to the end of the day. So if I was in a retail business, I would cash up every day. So as I'm in a service-based business, what can I do to build a habit where I just do a quick bank reconciliation? What have I earned today? What have I spent today? What money's come in? What money's gone out? Put that into my ideal working week. Potentially becomes a 15-minute task as opposed to it being several hours at the end of the month. So how do I break the elements down and then allocate time into my week? So my day kind of starts like I get up at the same time every day. The alarm goes off. I have my breakfast. I have a shower and stuff. And my morning routine is fairly similar. What I don't do is, as soon as I get my laptop open, I don't go into my emails and look at my emails as my first task. Why? Because personally, my email list, and I mean this about any emails and calendars are basically everybody else's to-do list. Every time I open my emails, it's somebody either wanting me to do something, or they're wanting my attention, or there's an action I need to make. And a lot of the times those actions aren't beneficial to me, they're beneficial to other people. So it's just a long list of other people's to-dos, other people's wants. So I needed to get control of my time back. So what I did was to start creating my ideal working week and then build it out from there. And what I found was, because it was the first time I did it, I thought, well, I have my kids on this, I don't have my kids on then. And then there's a networking event I go to on this week, but it's not the same every week stuff. So I ended up with a 4-week ideal week, which is just silly looking back now, but it's how it started for me. And it might be how it starts for you. And slowly but surely, I figured out that those individual weeks, there's only tiny differences. So I skimmed that down from a 4-week ideal working week to a 2-week ideal week. And then slowly but surely, that then became insane, because I was like, well, this is 2 weeks, and it's like, it's mainly the same, 80% at least. So then I just built my ideal working week to cover the majority of the stuff, making sure there was slack built in for the others. So I don't have a working week where I literally are running from one thing to the next, one thing to the next, one thing to the next every single day of the week anymore. I used to, it nearly killed me. So I get up on a Monday morning, and my girlfriend say, so what are you doing today? I said, I got calls. Oh, who have you got? I don't know. Because I don't check. My weekend is my weekend. They don't kind of cross over in that sense. So I'm not driven by my diary. I know my diary is busy Monday, Tuesday with coaching sessions back to back. That's my choice. That brings Sales Academy into play for 2 days every single week. I've got Wednesdays where I can have training, or I can be doing new customer appointments. And I've got Thursday and Friday, I work on Skinny Rhino, I work on Donate Better, I work on Maverick Minds, I work on other projects. Now, alongside that, I've got the kids that I pick up, I've got the kids that live with me, and I've got the same old thing that we all do, meal times, homework, and all that other stuff. So making sure that we get out and about and we do stuff actively, making sure that we as a family spend some time together. All these things are relevant and important and part of my week. That's why my ideal working week is a morning, an afternoon, and an evening. I need to build in meditation. I need to build in exercise. I need to build in reading. I need to build in working on me and cooking and cleaning and all those kind of things. That's why it's so routine that I'm like a robot, but it stops me having to think about it so much. So I stop dropping balls, because the pressure of stuff in my life is always worse than the reality of the stuff. I don't know if that rings true with anybody else. The fear, the worry, the thoughts about some things can be way, way, way worse than the actual thing when you do it. That's a thing called unknown, and fear of unknown. So the ideal working week is stage 1. And then it moves to stage 2, which is the default diary. And people talk about default diaries like they're just loosely, just put a default diary together. It's not that easy, guys, because a default diary is second level stuff. Your ideal working week is where you start. What do you want your ideal working week to be? And you need to manufacture that for you, your business, and your customers, because people will fall in line. People will come in line with how you operate. So I don't say to people, oh, well, I only meet with new prospects on a Wednesday. So the next opportunity I've got is Wednesday. How does that fit with you? And they go, oh, I can't do this Wednesday. Okay, cool. Well, the next opportunity I've got after that will be the following Wednesday. So how you position this and how you have these conversations just make your life so much easier. But I know it's on a Wednesday. So then if I say, well, I can meet you on a Monday, I can, because I'm full on a Monday. And now I'm starting to bottleneck, and now I've got to make phone calls to adjust people that were already booked in. And now I just look like I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm a professional. I don't care. And I do care. And fundamentally, I care more about my time, because my time is irreplaceable. If you've ever watched The Tourist with Angelina Jolie and Johnny Depp, God, that film should have been good, but it was dog shit. That's 3 hours and like 4 minutes of your life you're never going to get back. But I'm absolutely confident that everyone listening to this audio, everyone listening to this podcast is resourceful human beings. You are resourceful. So if you need to make money to pay a bill, you'll find money. You'll find a way to make money, because you're creative and resourceful. So never let money be a reason to stop you from doing stuff, because you back yourself, you back your ideas with action, you make money. But guys, when you lose that time, you are never getting it back. It is our most finite resource as human beings. We get one go at this frigging rock, one go. So build your ideal working week, stage 1. Stage 2 then takes it to default diary. And the reason it's default, and this aspect of default, which most coaches miss when they explain this, is because they haven't explained level 1 first properly. But the default element is level 2, because if, for example, I was meeting with clients on a Wednesday, and that's my new client meeting day, if it comes to a Wednesday and I'm not doing new client meeting, or I'm not doing training, because that's my other element to that day, it's either new client meeting or training on a Wednesday. If I'm not doing either, then what am I going to default back to make sure that A, I don't waste that time, because I've got 8 hours in a day now that I'm not doing new client appointments, or I'm not doing training with an existing customer. So what am I going to do in those 8 hours to make sure that next Wednesday is not the same? So I'm going to default back to income generating activities. I'm going to default back to going through my pipeline, prospecting. I'm going to default back to making some phone calls, engaging, sending some messages, re-establishing relationships and connections to make sure that the following Wednesday I do have appointments booked in and that time's not dead. That's what a default diary is about. That's the second level. What are you defaulting back to make sure that you're not wasting that time? But you can't have a default if you haven't done an ideal working week. So I hope that clarifies and starts triggering the thoughts for you in terms of how do you start to get control of your time. And as I said to you, I will walk every single one of you listening through at this podcast. I'm prepared to gift you one-to-one time with me, and I will walk you through this. And with your permission, I will challenge you to a point that you've probably never been challenged before. Because a lot of what's getting in your way, I guarantee you now, is your ego. I guarantee it's yourself getting in your own way, stopping you from trying these things, stopping you from applying some of these rules and disciplines in your life, because you don't want to be a caged lion. Mate, I'm the last thing in the world that wants to be a caged lion, but I'll tell you what, with a really proven system that works, I am dangerously good. And I get more time back to do what I love. I get time focused in my businesses, what I love, and I get time focused with my family that I love. And it's a beautiful, balanced life. But that doesn't happen by chance. That happens by design. So you have to design your ideal working week. And then you can design a default backup when you need to, if you're not doing the activities that you set time to do. You've got to default back into some other activities that move your business forward. So don't just listen to default diary stuff. Listen to ideal working week first. As I said, get in touch, comment below. Let's have a go at this. I'm happy to walk every single one of you through this, because I know how much of a game changer this was for me in my life and my business. So that's where we add value, where it matters most. Sales Academy in your corner. Thanks for listening. Share this wide, but if it's really precious to you, then keep it to yourself. I'm cool either way. But thanks for listening. Talk soon.